Hello, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, I'm going to teach you check constraint in MS SQL. What is check constraint? What is the purpose of using this check constraint in while developing and creating statements of the database structure? Yes, check constraint will always will help you in many ways. Instead of verifying a standardization of the values, how you are going to taking as an inputs in the preparation of the database structure, like a creation of the database table, to making checkpoints. It's nothing but checkpoints, like making in a constraint, we can say in the language of SQL, to preparing these constraints to identify and validate your data purification and make it as a very much simple, and you can set a database of standardization as you are requesting filtered. The check constraint is used to limit the value range that can be placed in a column. If you define a check constraint on a single column, it allows only certain values for this column. If you define a check constraint on a table, it can limit the values in certain columns based on the values in other columns in the row. That what you have to be focused more and more. What is the value you are going to inserting in a particular column? That data row, if you want to verify in any checkpoints to be made, that column you can make it as a constraint of by making the check method. All right. See, in other words, the check constraint is a kind of constraint that allows you to specify a value in a column must meet a specified requirement. The check constraint will check the Boolean expression to evaluate the value before performing the query. Either it may be performance of the insert query or update or delete to be the check will be verified. Then only if the check of Boolean expression is passed, then only the query statement will be executed successfully. If the Boolean expression value passes of failed, then the query will automatically terminated. All right, that's the way we'll put it as in a check constraints wherever we require to validate of input of data tables, if we require. We'll see with the minimum what I can say that requirements of the base requirements of the columns to create by having the check constraint along with how we are going to check with this checkpoints. If the checkpoint it is not meeting the data and the requirement, if it is not meeting and it's not successfully passed, then how it is regretting and how it is stopping to inserting the performance of the data, we'll see in real-time scenario. Let's begin here. Yes, I have prepared a simple table statement for you to a better way to understand, create a table statement called table name, it is employees. In this employees table, I have inserted the base. You know that how to create a column. If you are not aware of how to create a table using SQL script, check our previous lectures. We have a session from the base of a scratch how to create a table using SQL script. It's there. You go there and verify and come back here and let's see. You will have a good idea how to create a table. Once you have a clearly understand about it, now you come to the point. The ID column, it is taken as an int as a data type and it is defined as a primary key. And first name is a column name varchar 50. The length of the column, it is defined 50. And last name varchar, again it is in a data, it's a length of the 50. Birth date, it's very important. From here the session will comes now. The birth date, the data type which is defined here, it is date space check the constraint name we have written here. And what is the condition we are preparing for this check? Birth date, like this column name, and it's greater than 1900, month is 01 and day is 01. This is the meaning is the checkpoint it is prepared for here. Like a birth date, if it is inserting into the database like a birth date column, if we are sending in a data of a date, it should be greater than 1900, like a 1900 year, one first month and first date. If it is above only, it will be acceptable data. It's a very simple condition I have put here to understand basically what is the check constraint, how it will be worked. If the birth date is what is the date we are sending into inserting in this particular column, it should be above 1900 year and a 01 month and 01 year. You strongly remember. Okay. And the second checkpoint, what I am putting here, this column, making is on a salary, and the data type it is numeric, and the check constraint, what I have put here, the salary at least the minimum, like a 0 to be not allowed here. Above 0 only it can be eligible. And also you can put it as the minimum wages of like a 10,000 or 8,000 or any $100 like this. You can put like a dollars as you wish to put here. Where I am showing you, if I am inserting in the 0 at the salary column, whether it can be acceptable or not, how it is going to be denying, all will see here. Okay, and one by one, by selecting this and execute the statement over here, and we'll see the table creation. Once a table is created, we'll try to make it as an insert statement, or else by all our designer like a editing mode, we can try to insert the record. We'll see there whether the record is inserting properly or denying anything. We'll check here. Let's go. Now execute the statement, go here. This command is successfully completed. Make note of this complete a script of SQL statement to prepare your table as well. Then you try to change the column names and the type of actions and the logic of the condition your wish. What is the condition your mind? You try to put it as a check constraint. All right. Now let's see. We'll check with the refresh of the tables whether it is successfully created or not. We'll check here. Wow, the table is created successfully with the employees. Now we'll see with the table columns, these are the columns, and the keys, it is an ID, it's in a primary key, and the expanding of the constraint, these are the constraint it is created. What is this? One is birth, one is salary. All right. And now what I will like to suggest to you and telling you to insert the data, press the right click of the table and go to here with the like edit top 200 rows where we can try to insert the data of this particular table. Now let's see here. This is the mode we have seen. Now the ID I can give is a 1. The first name I can give Shekhar and the last name Metla. And now the birth date. We have a specified here the birth date. It is a 1900 and above only. Now what I can give here 1600. I'll try to insert the record. 1600, 01 and 01. The month and date is also 01, and 1600 is the year. Okay. And my salary is I'm putting 0. What will happen now if I press an enter? If it is a successful query, and the query data insert statement is going to be executing perfectly. So it should be insert. If it is there are any problems while occurring and the check constraint is not satisfying, it will be regret. Now just press and enter. See here, no row was updated. The data row in 1 is not committed. Error source is SQL data provider is issuing an error message. The message is the insert statement conflict with the check constraint of CK underscore employees underscore. First, it is verifying birth date. The conflict occurred in the database, ecom, database name, and the table it is a dbo.employees column birth underscore date. It is very clearly very particular, clearly it is saying that check constraint, it's getting some issue with that. At the end of the line, the statement has been terminated. Correct the error and retry by pressing the escape or cancel the changes. Now, if you want to correct this, you try to press OK and you check here the correction. All right. Otherwise, if you have pressed the escape key, that complete row will be eliminated. Okay. Now, what I will do here, just press the mouse here, or else you take the cursor here and press F2, and it will be make it as like a rename mode. Now, what I will do is I'll change it to 19 and 100 and like a 1902 of the year. Now, it can be eligible to enter into our database. So what I'm doing now, it is a very clear for this check constraint. Now I'll try to press an enter. Now see here, even my check constraint is getting some issue. What is the check constraint now? Now the check constraint of employees salary issue. The conflict occurrence in the database, the same database and table, and it is saying that salary issue it is there. We have a put in a statement like salary to be above 0. So if I want to place here other than the 0 means either 1 or 100, whatever it. Other than the 0, we have to send some value. Now I'll try to press an enter key. What happens? You just see simply the data row and the record is inserted successfully. How beauty, how the constraints are checking behalf of if you don't validate the data, even the database it will be automatically validate for yourself. And making like a check constraints, you can be avail all the validations and put a purity of the data. The ready-madely you are filtering your data. Whenever you want to use the data, you try to get the data by using the select statement, and ready-madely you can verify with your verification straight away. That is the way you can put it as an like a data check constraints, and you can avail of it. One good example I'll give you for an instance of such a time, like a school admissions, you are preparing for a form of admission form, and there is an age limitation for the entry point of the students who are the birth date based on the year. If it is closed, like if they are crossed the minimum criteria of the year of birth, then only the admission can be eligible. If not, it's the system will automatically says that you are not eligible to admit here. So such time and that's such a data table, if you are preparing for taking the student's birth date, you can put it as a constraint. What is the age criteria you can place there? That is the easy way to filter automatically. And you can catch the constraint error and throw the message, and you can show this is the age criteria is not matching and meeting, and you would be try in the next year admission or at whatever it you have to specify the proper message to the user. I hope you understand how to create like a table with using the checker constraint. How what are the usages of checker constraint, and how can implement this check constraint while creating of the database table. And about the check constraint, all you have understand about this constraint. Hope you understand. Thank you for watching this session. Thank you.